on sustainable solutions for a fragile planet.
critical dimension of this crisis. Right? I'm going to start off with the social dimension. Right? Let's begin with the social dimension. Because when there is a crisis happen, it all starts with the social dimension. So, climate change is a fundamental human rights issue. Right? It exacerbates, inequality, displacing millions and disproportionately affecting marginalized communities. The most vulnerable, women, children, indigenous people, and those in developing nations are often the least responsible for problems, but bear its heavy burden. Right? Next, consider the stories of climate refugees. Families forced to flee their homes due to rising sea level or prolonged droughts. These unisolated incidents, there are global phenomena, which is by 2015, it is estimated that over 200 million people, that's a huge amount, there's a huge number of people could be displaced by the climate-related events, right? As we confront these challenges, we must recognize the need to include policies that protect the rights for all individuals, ensuring no one is left behind. Let us begin with the social impact. Climate change has profound effects on human communities, often amplifying existing vulnerabilities. According to the World Bank, over 100 million people could be pushed into extreme poverty by 2050 due to climate change. Yeah. Take, for instance, the issue of displacement. Rising sea levels and extreme weather. Yeah, these events have forced entire communities to abandon their homes, creating climate refugees. These individuals face not only the physical loss of their homes, but also psychological loss of this refuge, and the challenge of integrating into new environment. This is something really cannot be taken so easily as something which is not a joke on the other side. But equally, it is important the strain on public health, heat waves, spreading disease, food and water, insecurity are just some of the ways climate change threatens human well-being. Vulnerable population, including children, the elderly, and those in low-income regions, yeah, bear the boom of these challenges. Yeah. These are some of the social impacts. Yeah. These social impacts calls for urgent and inclusive policies, one that prioritizes resilience and equality. As we navigate these challenges, let's ensure that no community is left. Next, my fellow friends, let's look at the economy. Yeah. The economic consequences of climate change are staggering. From damage to infrastructure caused by hurricanes to the loss of livelihoods in agriculture-dependent regions, the financial toll is immense. As mentioned, climate change could push an additional 152 million people into extreme poverty. We are in the another 5 more years if we don't manage or we don't handle this particular issue. It's going to be a massive, in less than half a decade, we're going to have this massive problem. Again, yet this crisis also presents an opportunity. Again, not all bad news are totally bad news. There is always an opportunity, something bad is a chance to innovate. How is it an opportunity? A chance to innovate, to transition into green economies, and to invest in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and circular economy. How? By fostering collaboration between governments, businesses, and civil society. We can turn climate challenges into economic opportunities, creating jobs, driving growth, while safeguarding our. Now, The economic dimension of climate change is it's equally present. The cost of inaction far outweigh the investment needed for mitigation and adaptation. Climate-related disasters cost the global economy 165 billion in 2022 alone, and these figures continue to rise. Again, agriculture, a cornerstone of many economies, including Malaysia and India in particular, very vulnerable. Prolonged droughts and unpredictable rainfall patterns disrupt food production, driving up prices, exacerbating food insecurity. This has ripple effect on global markets, intensifying economic disparity between nations. Right? Moreover, the transition to a low carbon economy presents both challenges and opportunities. While industries like fossil fuels decline, renewable energy and green technology are creating jobs. Now, it is our responsibility to ensure that this is just providing the training and support for workers and regions affected by this. Right? So now, investing. An investment in sustainable infrastructure, green energy, and climate smart innovation is not just an environmental imperative, but an economic. By doing so, we can build economies that are resilient, inclusive, as well as sustainable. Next, my dear friends, let's look at the cultural dimension. Let us consider the cultural dimension of climate change. Culture shapes how society perceives and responds to the environment. Did you agree with that? And in turn, climate change reshapes cultural identities and traditions. Let's look at the indigenous communities, for an example. Traditional knowledge systems that have guided sustainable living for centuries are under threat. As ecosystem change, so too do the cultural practices and livelihoods tied to them. Imagine the loss of Arctic tradition due to melting ice, or the disappearance of coastal heritage sites swallowed by rising sea. Yet, culture also holds the power to inspire climate action. Art, literature, and storytelling have always been tools for social change. And today they play a crucial role in raising awareness and mobilizing. We must harness this cultural power to foster global ethics of stewardships and interconnectedness. Moreover, preserving cultural heritage in the face of climate change is not merely about safeguarding the past, it is about honoring the diversity that enriches humanity and finding innovative ways to adapt. Perhaps one of the most overlooked aspects of climate change is its impact on the cultural heritage. Once again, coastal communities are losing ancestral land to rising seas. Indigenous tribes are witnessing the disappearance of ecosystems that are integral to their way of life. And historic landmarks, symbols of human ingenuity and identity, are at risk of being lost. Now, ladies and gentlemen, culture is the soul of humanity. It is what binds us together, offering a sense of belonging and continuity. Protecting cultural heritage in the face of climate change is not just about preserving the past. Protecting heritage in the face of climate change is not just about preserving the past, it is about ensuring the survival of our collective identity for future generations. This is something really serious we are all facing from different part of the world. Yeah, a sustainable living. We want to have our identity preserved. Yeah, we want to preserve our past. We don't want to have any of these wonderful stories which we have, yeah, which we have experienced it in our life, yeah, to be totally lost. And we are going to share these stories to our future generation by telling them in a form of storybooks, in history books, or in some sort of magazine, in the library, or even in the news. We don't want that. Yeah. So let's look at what are the call for action. The call for action. What are we supposed to do? Yeah. What are we supposed to do? As we reflect on these dimensions, social, economic, and cultural, it becomes clear that the impact of climate change are profoundly human. Yes, it's profoundly human. Addressing them requires a holistic approach, one that integrates science, policy, and human values. Today, I urge each and every one of you to think critically about the role this will play. Whether you're an educator, you're a business leader, or advocate, your action matters. Together we can. Can what? What can we do? We can advocate policies that prioritize sustainability and equality. Together we can. As a single person, we can't do this. Or, I wouldn't say that it's possible. It's possible, but if we stand together in a bigger group, we can advocate the causes. Right? Thanks. Support innovations that drive a green economy. As I mentioned earlier, not all are bad when there is a crisis. Part of the way we find a crisis intervention is by having or innovation that drives it. What can we do next? Celebrate, preserve the cultural richness, the economic expansion. Right. Now, the question before us is not whether we can afford to act. Yeah, that is not the question. But whether we can afford not to. Do you want to do it? Or do you choose not to? Yeah, this is the question we have to ask ourselves. Action on climate change requires a multifaceted one that includes grassroots initiatives, bold governmental policies, and international efforts. Not just that, one particular nation thinks with sustainable or, trying to tackle the crisis of global change, but the rest of the world, they don't bother or they are not cooperating. It should be an international cooperation. We start first, and probably, our neighboring countries will inspire everyone. Or they start, we get inspired, and we will follow anyhow to international countries as we go. It requires education, awareness, and the courage to challenge this status quo. Right? We need to challenge this status quo. As individuals, our choices. Yeah? And again, togetherness, give us the power of choices. From the energy we consume to the product we buy, each dimension has different. As leaders, educators, and change, our influence can inspire entire communities to embrace sustainability. Right? So now, in conclusion, climate change is not just a scientific or environmental. Let us rise to this challenge with determination, compassion, and unity. Together, we can turn the tide into a world that is socially, economically, that we all for my session. Thank you very much. And I wish you all a very good evening, a very good morning, and all the very best. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. taking leave from you all.
May now invite Dr. Akilan sir, the chairperson, and Dr. Paramasivan sir, the co-chairperson, to occupy their places on the dais. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome our esteemed chief guest, Dr. S.T. Akilan sir, for our international conference titled Sustainable Solution for a Fragile Planet, Addressing Climate Change and Environmental Crisis. Dr. Akilan is an distinguished academician and a dedicated sociologist who has made remarkable contributions to the field of environmental sociology and industrial sociology. He holds a PhD from University of Madras with his research focusing on the impact of textile effluents and water pollution in the Noyal River Basin of Tamil Nadu. Currently serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Sociology at the University of Madras, Dr. Akilan has been actively involved in teaching, research, and guiding PhD scholars. His expertise is widely recognized and he has played a significant role in shaping academic policies as a member of various boards of studies and examination committees. Beyond academia, Dr. Akilan has been an invited speaker at national and international conferences, shedding light on pressing social concerns such as urban transportation, pollution control, gender studies, and human rights. He has also contributed extensively to research, having published numerous articles in renowned national and international conferences. A passionate educator, dedicated researcher, and an inspiring leader, Dr. Akilan has been instrumental in promoting innovative teaching methods and has actively participated in several seminars, workshops, and policy discussions. His invaluable insights and unwavering dedication to sociology make him a true inspiration for students and scholars. We are truly honored to have him with us today. Let us all extend a warm welcome to Dr. S.T. Akilan. Also, I thank and welcome co-chairperson of this session, Dr. K. Paramasivan sir, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice, D.J. Vaishnav College, Arumbakam. Thank you, sir. As a mark of gratitude, I would like to invite Dr. C. Chidambaranathan sir to present a memento. I would like to invite Mr. Aragesan sir to present a memento to our chairperson. We are privileged to have esteemed experts with us today who will share their insights and lead engaging discussions. Once again, a heartfelt welcome to everyone and hope you will find a fruitful and enlightening session ahead. All the presenters are requested to complete their presentation within 4 minutes and ensure your presentation does not exceed 4 minutes. Wishing each presenter an engaging and impactful session. I now hand over the proceedings of this session to the chairperson and the co-chairperson. Without any further ado, let us commence this session with our first paper presenter, Purnima, who will be speaking on the title Global Warming in Daily Life and its Environmental Consequences. Audience, please maintain the decorum with silence.
Good morning to one and all present here. I am Purnima, first BA Sociology, PG Vaishnav College, standing before you all to present a research paper on the topic Global Warming in Daily Life and its Environmental Consequences. I would like to start my presentation with a quote that nature doesn't need people, but people need nature. Uh, yes, it is true that humans are depending to nature, but in return we are harming the nature. We are depending the nature for small things like starting from breathing to degrading waste. The oxygen we breathe are released from trees, but in return we are polluting the air by using motorcycles, burning plastics, and cutting down the trees, etc. The internet we use today, this second, which indirect primary factor of global warming. The internet used in large amount the places like college, IT parks, schools, data centers, etc. are uh, which needs more electricity, which are powered by fossil fuels. Like this, we can add on many reasons. I'm proceeding with the introduction part. Global warming caused by greenhouse gases has raised temperature by 1 degree Celsius. It may sound small, but it has significant impacts on environment. Impacts like causing extreme weather, melting glaciers, rise in sea level, etc. Human activities like burning fossil fuels and deforestation release greenhouse gases that strengthens global warming. Next, global warming also intensifies extreme weather, disrupts ecosystems, and causes wildfires. Recent days, we heard the news that California is facing with wildfires. It is lasting for 22 days also. Species losses and rising ocean acidity. And we should take urgent action and sustainable practices to preserve the natural resources for our future generations. And next slide, please. And methodology. The study used a descriptive research design with a survey method to collect data from 100 random respondents over 3 to 4 weeks. And a structured questionnaire focused on global warming and its environmental consequences was administered online. Next slide, please. Next, proceeding with the discussion and analysis. In this section, we can see 5 major parts, and I am proceeding with only 2 or 3. First is deforestation. We know we are cutting down the trees and destroying the trees for our daily life. We studied in our lower classes, we are cutting down the trees for furnitures, papers, etc. So that the level of carbon dioxide is increasing and it leads to global warming. Trees are essential for oxygen production and air purification. Yes, it is true. We have to plant more trees, and we should encourage people, and we should create awareness to the public to encourage planting trees. And next slide, please. Use of vehicles. Daily, we are using vehicles to go outside, and which are leading to carbon dioxide and other pollutants contribute to climate change, and it also causes health risks. And carbon dioxide from vehicles accelerate global warming by trapping heat in the atmosphere. Over usage of carbon dioxide will also retain heat in the atmosphere rather than letting it escape. Next slide, please. Industrial development. Industrialization has significantly increased harmful emissions, contributing to rising global temperatures. Industrialization is positive, but it has many negative impacts in environment as well as in social life also. Next slide, please. Next slide. Overpopulation. Because of population, we are cutting down the trees also. So for livelihood, we are cutting down the trees and occupying the spaces where the trees are planted. The growing population increases carbon dioxide emission due to higher demand for energy, food, and resources. At the starting, I stated that the usage of the large amount of usage the large amount of electricity usage is should be avoided, so that the electricity is powered by fossil fuels. The usage will be the contributing usage will be decreased. Next slide, please. Conclusion. So that in my research paper, I'm concluding that we should raise awareness about global warming is crucial, as it is severe. It has severe environmental impacts and affects daily life. Human activities like burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and pollution increase greenhouse gases and global temperatures. By making sustainable choices, individuals and communities can reduce emissions and help protect the planet for future generations. I am concluding my presentation with a quote: "A small change in your daily routine can make a big difference in the fight against global warming." Thank you.
Thank you, Purnima. You have written well that the paper what you have ordered, which are very good, well presented also. And even I couldn't find some of the references. The references wherever you have given here in the full paper, the passages, whatever you have added, each passages has to be followed with such a reference. That reference has to be given in the bibliography that at the end.
Yes,
The
sir. I
author's
have
name, yeah,
think so.
and it's not that much enough, but you have to learn more.
Sure.
I am happy that you are belonging to the first year of BA, but the UG level itself you have presented well. And the order what you have done in the PPT was also excellent.
Thank you, sir.
And the coherence I could find, and even the methodology basis also a little bit you have to be well, and even the primary data what you have given, it has to be like the table basis. The secondary data or the primary data should be in the table form giving, and that will be excellent.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
I next call upon Divya Bharati for presenting her presentation on the title Global Warming and Ocean Acidification, an Environmental Crisis. Good morning, all. My name is Divya Bharati from Department of Physics. Before starting my talk, I just want to
say you all guys that I want to give a crisp and clear, solid explanation about my topic. I don't want to explain everything because everything is in my research paper. So I just want to give a solid explanation about my topic. So I'd like to start with a quote. Global warming is a foreboding tender in the distance, and ocean acidification is the lightning striking in our front yard right now, right here. So, this quote is actually highlighting the emergency of ocean acidification and global warming. Next slide. Actually, my paper methodology is also based on secondary data which was collected from the digitals, books, and reports. Actually, this is the main thing for my methodology. Next slide, please. So before talking about the interconnection between these two, you all should know that global warming and ocean acidification are not directly related, but they are indirectly related by two components. Actually, the one component is primarily caused by increase in concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere by human activities like burning fuel, something like that. It goes on. So the interconnectionness between these two are four components. Like we can separate that warming water, reduced CO2 absorption, and disrupt marine ecosystem. So these are the three things that are interconnecting this global warming and ocean acidification. Next slide. Okay. This is something that is really different, which was like I'm relating the physics with these two components, which was global warming and ocean acidification. Um, why I was relating with physics means physics provides a fundamental understanding of how global warming and ocean acidification occurs and their impacts on environment and giving a potential solution to it. Actually, the first one is thermodynamics and heat transfer, and second one is electromagnetism, and third one is fluid dynamics, which was related to the ocean circulatory, and the nuclear. The thing was there was solution for this. Actually, greenhouse effect, which was increased by CO2 and other greenhouse gases trapped in infrared radiation, which means IR, which was already present in our Earth atmosphere. Um, that leads to rise the temperature in Earth. This can be explained by black body radiation, which was very well known in physics, like black body radiation curves. The next thing was electromagnetism radiation, which was absorption. Electromagnetic radiation can be explained by quantum mechanics, which was the atmosphere absorbing and re-emitting the radiation to a particular wavelength that can be explained by quantum mechanics. Fluid dynamics and ocean circulatory, that is thermo-Hallan circulation. We all know that the ocean ocean convenient belt around our globe, which was driven by temperature, salinity difference, and that regulates the climate. So that can be explained by fluid dynamics, and we can give a nuclear and renewable energy as solution. Next slide, please. You can see the causes and impacts of global warming, like causes like greenhouse gas, deforestation, industrial activities. The same impacts can be separated into two: environmental impact and social economical impact, like rising sea level, extreme weather condition event, disturbed ecosystem, like health risk. Whereas in social and economical impact. Next thing. This is ocean acidification and the causes with it impacts, like the causes like increasing CO2 level in the atmosphere, pH level decrease. Whereas in impacts we can separate into two: environmental impact and economical impact. Next slide. So these are all the steps you can take, which we all know that the steps can be separated into individual action, policy action, and global effect. Next slide, please. So this is the thing I just want to share with you guys, which was like cow dung beetle, liquid tree, and parent Gytotryndum. It was a marine fungus. Okay, I just want to say that researchers have identified a marine fungus called parent Gytotryndum album, which breaks polyethylene, which was common plastic. Uh, it will present marine fungus which was present in seawater. How this mechanism works means it will degrade polyethylene when it is exposed to UV rays, which means sunlight is plays a major role in this process. Actually, the degrading plastic takes by this fungus is relatively slow, but this is the only one method to reduce the pollution, plastic pollution in seawater. Next one was liquid tree. Liquid tree refers to photobioreactor system that utilizes microalgae to perform similar function as real tree.
The conclusion.
Okay, so these are all the three things I am giving as solution. You can ask that these three can reduce all these means actually not, but they'll help to mitigate the climatic changes which was driven by global warming and ocean acidification. Actually, I like to give the conclusion like we can't stop the human activities like totally, but it takes time. I'm just asking to control or limit the human activities while we are taking the process to stop the human activities to have a sustainable life in our planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya Bharati. Divya Bharati belongs to physics, BSc physics, and you have taken wonderful topic actually, global warming and the ocean acidification in other places, which is physical oriented and biological oriented. You have to see, and the narration what you have done was also good, nice the correlation I could find. And most of the PPT which were also shown through the pictures, good, nice, because rather giving the written form, but even the picture it will be more effective one to convey the message. There, the other side you are also explaining well. And in the case of the conclusion, little bit like narrow and very little I could find the conclusion, but the solution which was not given here in the paper, but in the PPT I could find effectively. So that's what done by you. Excellent, Divya Bharati. All the best.
Thank you.
I request all the presenters to strictly adhere to the time limit of 4 minutes for the presentation. And next, I call upon Parthiban and Kumar to present on the title The Socio-Economic Impact of Greenhouse Gas Emissions.
Good morning, everyone. I am Parthiban from 2nd BA Sociology, here to deliver my presentation on socio-economic impact of greenhouse gas emission. Introduction. GHG gas emissions are major cause of climate change, leading to global warming and extreme weather events, and this is becoming a serious issue for planet's health. It affects wildlife, agriculture, and human lives, and threatening to whole ecosystem. Next slide. Objectives. The main goal of this study is to examine the effects of GHG emissions and to increase our understanding about this issue. It also aims to assess how people are aware of this problem. Methodology. We have used qualitative research design to conduct this study. Our study area for this research is Narayankadu Police Quarters, Pudupet. We have collected personal interview from 25 respondents from the age of 16 to 30. Effects of emissions. Global warming and climate change are one of the predominant cause of GHG emissions, and every other problems are interdependent on each other. Sea level rise is one of the arising problems across the world. Countries like Indonesia have changed their capital due to this sea level rise, displacement and migration. Due to extreme weather events, people were forced to move out of their native places in order to sustain their lives. Disruption of ecosystem. There is a phenomenon called coral bleaching, which is directly attributed to rise in temperature in oceans. Due to this, the whole marine system gets damaged, and many other followings. And I have to add few other challenges like US has been withdrawn from Paris Agreement, which is going to be challenge for every other nations in future. And Trump also announced national energy emergency, which is going to cause more emissions in future. Results: 67% of respondents were unaware of this issue, and remaining also lacked in knowledge about this issue. And 53% of respondents believe that EV would be more environment friendly compared to petrol vehicles. And people also felt government policies were inefficient in reducing emissions. Recommendations: we can use Beijing pollution control method to mitigate this problem, and we can collaborate with influencers to spread awareness among the masses about these issues. We could also calculate green GDP so that we would know the monetary value of environmental costs and how sustainable economy we are. And investing on research and development would help us to invest on cost effective renewable energy, and focusing on reforestation and conservation of forests would help us to mitigate this problem, and promoting low carbon products it also helps us. And conclusion: to effectively mitigate the GST emissions, the nation must transition to renewable resource and promote sustainable development and collaborate with other countries through coordinated efforts and shared solutions. This will not only reduce environmental impact but also foster global unity in addressing climate change. Thank you.
Thank you, K. Parthiban. You firmly presented the research. Actually, that the data what you have collected from the primary field, right, and the socio-economic impact of the greenhouse gases, you collected well. That I could find the correlation in the questions what you have ordered, and which were also explained well from the greenhouse gas emissions. So, and you have started with the objectives. Good. The objectives were also good, and the recommendations what you have made was also excellent, which is connected with the objectives. That's what I have found. Thank you, Parthiban. Excellent.
Thank you.
I next call upon Krishnakant and Dr. I. Janita ma'am to present their presentation.
Very good, very good morning to everyone. I am Krishnakant, studying first year MSW. I request kindly share my PPT. Yeah, let's get into the topic. My presentation is mercury bioaccumulation, ecological and health impact, a case study on the Minamata Convention. In the year 1908, a chemical factory was established in a coastal village of Minamata in Japan. It operated by the Chiso Corporation. The factory rapidly expanded over the next century, producing various industrial products which is used for petroleum products, fertilizer, dye chemicals, like that. And however, the residents of Minamata were unaware about the factory negligence would lead to one of the most mercury pollution disaster in history, in the fate of their community and leaving a last impact of the world. It was not until 1950s the resident began to notice alarming of health issues. The symptoms include the numbness, muscle weakness, and loss of coordination. However, soon the progress its neurological disorder and cognitive birth defect. Most of the case emergency early epidemiological study outbreak of unknown central nervous disease. And the first unusual findings was the strange behavior of local cats, where the resident called this a dancing cat disease. And soon after, the alarming significantly appeared. The crow were falling down, the fishes were bloated in the sea, and the seaweeds were dead, like that issue. And further research were relevantly direct link between the illness and the seafood consumption is directly involved in the mercury poisoning. And based on this, in the year 2013, UNEP, United Nations Environment Progression, was initiated the Minamata Convention in the year 2013, adapted and enforced in the 2017. The treaty aimed to prevent mercury-related targeted by limiting mercury production emission and controlling the products and promoting safe handling practice. Next slide. And what is mercury bioaccumulation? Bioaccumulation is a process of accumulating a toxic substance in an organism over a period of time. Next picture. In this picture, from the beginning, small organism consuming a smaller toxic substance. Gradually, it will increase in their body. The mercury toxic percentage also increasing. Same topic, biomagnification in a food web and the food uh, cycle. A producers, consumers, and the primary apex scale consumers consuming a smaller toxic substance, which will lead to increasing another organism. Next slide. Objective: this study to analyze the pathway and mercury bioaccumulation in an ecosystem to assess the health impact of the exposure on the human population, particularly neurotoxic effects, to assess the health impact of the mercury exposure population and participating. Next slide. Methodology. This method is a case study, qualitative case study. Data sources, relevant articles, historical reports, and Minamata Convention official guidelines. And okay, next. Next. This is next. So this is a pathway of the mercury. Industrial emission can discharge into two ways. One is wastewater and atmospheric deposit. The wastewater is directly into the water body, and the atmosphere is indirectly converted into water bodies. The microbial chemical products into these chemical products. It's led to the raw material for the mercury pollution bioaccumulation process. Next. Earlier I explained the bioaccumulation and biomagnification. The human consumption of the fishes make the cognitive impairment and also neurological disorder. Next slide. This is the recommendation: enhancing the regulations, promoting mercury-free solution, raising public awareness, boosting research. Next. Conclusion: mercury bioaccumulation is the one of the critical and most dangerous in the environment. It will not only affecting the humans but also affecting the organisms and our ecosystem. The Minamata Convention is the basic foundation. The problem was identified in the year 1950s in Minamata, but the convention was taken place in the 2013. It is a very long gap and need to develop more steps. One of the case example in India, in Kodaikanal, a lake also polluted by mercury pollution. In 2021, it's all identified, and the pollution led by the HUL manufacturing.
Very good, very good.
First year UG sociology, now sociology.
Social work. Person who is coming from social work and sociology, you are able to explain from biological basis. Excellent observation you have done. And even I appreciate the topic because this is a historical one and which has created a lot of evolution also there. From Minamata disease, that is so-called Minamata disease, which has happened due to the mercury pollution and all that the industrial activities. So many causes are there, and you have explained well about the chain of that contaminant. Okay, and I just appreciate for that, and even how it happens, and how it is mentally affecting the social environment. Even it happened that single thing is the Kodaikanal recently, which was enacted. I mean, which was explained by and which was like a revolution done by one of the YouTuber. I hope you can recollect that the mercury pollution which has taken. So you have done well. Okay, and the PPT what have made is excellent. All the best.
Thank you so much.
I now call upon Shalini Jia to present her presentation.
Imagine living in a world where every storm feels like it's aimed at the poor, and every drought threatens food security, and every heat wave endangers lives. For many in Tamil Nadu, this is not just an imagination, but it is the reality. A very good morning to one and all present here. Climate change is affecting us all,
but it's hitting the vulnerable communities the hardest. Today, we'll focus on how climate change impacts the coastal communities in Tamil Nadu and explore what actions can help them to cope. Climate change causes many hardships. The vulnerable groups, like children and the elders, are facing even greater challenges than others. And we need to address these issues as soon as possible immediately. So, what is climate change? Human activities like burning fossil fuels and deforestation are driving the climate change, posing a threat to environment and communities like Tamil Nadu. Moving on to the historical context. So, climate change isn't new, but human activities like the Industrial Revolution of 18th century made it worse. Tamil Nadu is extra vulnerable because many people here are doing the farming and fishing as their occupation. So, old way of adapting, like collecting the rainwater for harvesting, aren't enough to handle the rapid changes of climate now. Going on to the objectives, this research aimed to access the financial disruptions, health issues, and propose strategies to help these communities to become more resilient to climate change. Next, on the key themes, the study focuses on the health challenges like the diseases and malnutrition for the children and the socio-economic impacts such as the disruptions in livelihood and housing and the community preparedness which includes the immediate response to the climate-induced disasters. Then the methodology of the study. This research uses a descriptive design and a mixed method approach. For the primary data, the survey and interviews of 50 adolescents, which includes the fisherman family and also the children who live near the coastal area, was taken. And the secondary data, the reports from international organizations like WHO, ICAR, FAO, and the UN was taken. Findings. So, when going to the key findings of this research, the 67% of household reports the financial strain due to the climatic events. The 72% of adolescents face respiratory problems, malnutrition, and stress. The food insecurity. The 55% suffer from poor nutrition during the drought and floods. The housing insecurity, the 35% face the risk of displacement due to the flooding and other disasters. The limited healthcare access. Actually, the 60% lack the knowledge about this and they are lacking in the access to climate resilience for the healthcare and also they are totally unaware about the issues. Next, recommendations and implementation plan. So we can strengthen the coastal infrastructure by investing in flood-resistant homes and sea walls. The Tamil Nadu State Disaster Management Authority can lead this effort. Next, the climate resilient livelihoods. The support for the aquaculture, seaweed farming, and micro insurance for the fishermen will help. The programs like the Blue Revolution scheme by our government and the NABARD loans can help. Then the public health and nutrition, the improvement in mobile health units and food security programs, and expanding the ICDs and setting up early disease warning systems are essential. Next slide, please. The disaster preparedness and government initiative. Yes, we also need better disaster preparations. Early warning systems and community response teams are the key. The government initiative like NTRF, Coastal Regulation Zone, and the national cyclone risk mitigation projects are crucial for protecting these communities. Yes, sir. Last, the conclusion and the takeaway. In conclusion, the climate change is severely impacting Tamil Nadu's coastal community. However, through better infrastructure, sustainable livelihoods, and government support, we can help these community building resilience by having linked up with NGOs and also the government. The government role in implementing policy and providing financial support is very essential. So the time to act is now, and building resilience for today is which will ensure the sustainable tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you for an exemplary presentation. And I call upon Harnisri.
Thank you, sir.
presenters to keep their presentations precise.
Good morning to one and all present here. I'm M. Kanishri from first BA from DG Vaishnav College. My co-author Rohin Hess from DG Vaishnav College. I'm here to present my paper on when rainfall falls, trouble grows, climate changes in agriculture, and vulnerability and family well-being. Let's go start with the food. We rely on fertile and climate agriculture through their race. Agriculture plays a crucial role in economic development and personal life by knowing or unknowingly. We rely on agriculture. Same way, climate also plays a key role in agriculture and not only agriculture but environment and people, etc. One of the main reasons for climate change is greenhouse gas emission, that is through industrialization, deforestation, and burning of fossil fuels. Another major issue is limited to job opportunities for uneducated individuals and those who depend on agriculture. Next slide. Objective. Objective is to about the climate change and significant problems for the public health. However, government and to see the government issues and the understand the identity and the factor that contribute to the vulnerability and the way to mitigate them. Finally, to giving some preventive measures to climate changes which affects both the public health and the socio-economic. So methodology we have included in our research using empirical research type and research design like quantitative and qualitative. Primary data use crowdsourcing sampling techniques, obtain data from the diverse and representative respondents, none other than farmers, general public, and students. Secondary data uses secondary sources like already published research articles. The sample size was 50 and were covered in the area like Chennai and few other villages covered by this. Data analysis. So data analysis, we have covered the topics like climate changes and far-reaching impacts and role of government in farmers' life. Addressing this issue, coordinating the global efforts, governments or the organization must invest in infrastructure design to withstand the climate-related disasters. Here, migration also plays a major role because continuous disasters due to this will affect the people to migrate and they faces issues like unemployment, poverty, and social discriminations. Next slide. So we have asked the questions like to the people of the village and in students like how would you rate your access to essential services like healthcare, education, transportations, and in relation to climate change? So many of the people have said around like very poor have said like lower middle class and the farmers. Less than the farmers. Poor is like marginal farmers and good were the middle class farmers. So like recommendation, I would recommend like uh, government policies transformation and upgradation and policy makers like inclusive policy like where the people have to uh, decentralize the policy making at the ground rooted level and so conclusion is like climate change plays a crucial role in everyone's life and public health also the socio-economic stability. Vulnerable population including the farmers and the marginalized bears the burn these challenges due to limited resources. So government has to take some initiatives more than what we expect. Due to this, we can able to reduce the public's recommendations and fulfill their needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhanisri. Now I call upon Priyadarsan. Priyadarsan going to talk on climate change and reproductive health.
Vanakkam and a very good morning to Vanakkam present here. I'm here to present my research paper on deepening deterioration of future generation, addressing the role of climate change in reproductive health disparities. Authored by myself, Priyadarshan from first year BA Sociology, and co-authored by Smriti JP Nayak from third year BA Sociology, DG Vaishnav. So this paper actually talks about the impact of climate change upon men as well as women, and especially on pregnant women and neonatal health. Next slide, please. Yes. So actually, whenever we talk about climate change, we only focus upon global warming, sea level rising, ice caps, everything. But this is something sexual and reproductive health have been long time disregarded in the content of climate change, and this has to be addressed right now because sexual and reproductive health rights are at a risk in the present day climate change context. Next slide, please. So, sexual and reproductive health and rights, it talks about more specifically the linkages between climate change and sexual and reproductive health rights. SRHR, it actually has been nowadays only the government has started to notice about it, and sexual health has been is now being included in the agenda of climate change. So, this research paper actually tries to review the current impact of climate change upon men and pregnant women and the existing healthcare system, whether it is enough for the impacts that has been taking place. Next slide, please. So for that, this study employs a critical review framework where we review the biological impacts of climate change and their health impacts, which had a deep impact upon them. And the data was collected through interviews scheduled from doctors and nurses through purposive sampling method, where we choose specialists from those fields to get the data from them. So the objectives of the paper is it analyzes the changing trends of fertility, how climate change is influencing the fertility level and the healthcare conditions, whether it is enough or what improvements have to be made upon that. And it enhances awareness about the intersectional awareness of climate change and sexual. So the first category, which is extreme heat events. So how heat affects men and women is that, so heat affects men more because their reproductive organ is present outside the body, and it involves a deep impact upon that. And in women, the egg quality is worsened upon that, right? So it affects also the child health if at all they are pregnant. And communicable and non-communicable diseases, pregnant women are more vulnerable to this because at the time of pregnancy, their immune system will be it is not ready to take up on that. So they feel very low and they are vulnerable to these infections. And non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, asthma, this does not only affect the woman if she is pregnant, it also goes on to the child or goes on to the baby she has. Air and water pollution, the impact that it has on men is that it decreases the quality of sperm and it leads to low level of testosterone production and erectile dysfunction happens. And in women, disruptions in menstrual cycle. So since it has been titled future generations, we have to take upon that women because they are the one who are going to create or give birth to the future generations. So it also affects menarche. So they creates disruptions in menstrual cycles, gestational complications happen. So at the time of delivery, blood flow breaks down. So they suffer a lot upon that, and it leads to stillbirth. The more and more the heat increases, the more chances of stillbirth occurs. And then natural disasters. Natural disasters, more than biological impact, they lead to mental impact because one is that they lose their close family members. So if at all they are pregnant at that time, it leads to a great mental stress, post-traumatic disaster stress that happens. And it leads to disruptions in necessary healthcare. At the time of natural disasters, you cannot go and afford healthcare system if at all it is flood. That creates a very difficult situation there. So floods usually result in spontaneous abortion. So the researchers have found out that floods usually result in spontaneous abortions due to stress and loss of property. If at all they don't have a proper place to live, it increases sexually transmitted infections when they are migrating from place to place due to natural disasters. And then it continues to mental health problems. So stress, what happens if at all stress is created during pregnancy, it can impact the fetal growth. So the more the stress, the head size of the baby, the circumference decreases, and it means the sexual desire, the libido, it decreases, and then the more the stress is between the partners, if at all the partners is stressed, the sexual relationship, the intimacy between them, it affects. So chronic stress can cause erectile dysfunction and sexual dysfunction, and mental stress can manifest in forms of increased anxiety and depression. So mental health also influences their health, which is now it has been contributed to climate change.
Go to country.
So the recommendations are we have to ensure youth engagement and we have to support them. We have to finance the youth innovations that they are bringing out. And governments need to invest in health and education, and they need to bring more awareness about the intersection between climate change and sexual health. So true climate justice comes with fulfilling gender equality and complete realization of sexual and reproductive health rights. So since it's a baby step towards both the intersection, we hope that we will get more and more policies and interventions by the government and international organizations in this very particular and very serious ground. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question. Excellent. I will next call upon Sandhya.
My warm greetings to all present here. I, Priyanka from 2nd BA Sociology, co-author, Sandhya from 2nd BA Sociology, author, made a research on topic analyzing the unseen victims of climate change, analyzing the public health consequences, a study on roadside population. These groups, homeless individuals, nomadic workers, and street vendors, are among the most vulnerable. Yet they are often overlooked in the climate policies. This presentation will explore the health, socio-economic, and infrastructure challenges they face, as well as potential strategies for building resilience. Introduction. Climate change is one of the most urgent global challenges with severe consequences for human health, economic stability, and social well-being. Its effects are widespread, but the most vulnerable population face disproportionate hardships. Lacking access to essential services like healthcare, clean water, and secure housing, these groups are highly exposed to extreme weather events. Next slide. Methodology. This study was conducted in Chennai with a sample size of 50 participants. 25 were from roadside population and 25 were undergraduate students. Data was collected through structured interview to understand the health, socio-economic, and infrastructure challenges. Objectives of the study. The main objective of the study are to analyze the health impacts of climate change on roadside population, investigate socio-economic factors that exacerbate their vulnerability, and access the gaps in healthcare and social protection. We also explore strategies to mitigate these impacts and improve resilience. Findings. Health consequences of climate change. ரோட் சைட் பாப்புலேஷன்ஸ்ல வந்துட்டு ஹெல்த் வந்துட்டு எப்படி அவங்களுக்கு அஃபெக்ட் ஆகுதுன்னா நிறைய ஹீட்னாலையும் ஹெவி ரெயின்னாலையும் அவங்க வந்து மோஸ்டா அஃபெக்ட் ஆகுறாங்க. ஹீட்னால ஹீட் ரிலேட்டடான டிசீசஸ் லைக் ஹீட் வேவ்ஸ், ஹீட் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய டிசீசஸ் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு வந்து அஃபெக்ட் பண்ணுது. ஹெவி ரெயின்ஃபாலால வந்துட்டு வாட்டர் போர்ன் டிசீசஸ் லைக் காலரா அந்த அந்த மாதிரி டிசீஸ் வந்து ஸ்ப்ரெட் ஆகிறதுக்கு ரொம்ப ஆக்சசிபிளா இருக்காங்க. In this study 60% of people வந்துட்டு ஹீட்னால அஃபெக்ட் ஆயிருக்காங்க. 20% of people வந்து ரெயின்ஃபாலால அஃபெக்ட் ஆகுறாங்க. 20% of people வந்து both heat and rainfall-ஆல அஃபெக்ட். Socio-economic factors worsening vulnerability. Socio-economic factors like poverty, homelessness, and lack of social support significantly increases vulnerability. அது ப்ராப்பரான ரெயின்ஃபாலால ஃப்ளட்னால வந்துட்டு அவங்க ஸ்ட்ரீட் வெண்டார்ஸ் கடைகள்லாம் போட்டு விற்கிறவங்களால வந்துட்டு ஃப்ளட் டைம்ல வந்துட்டு அவங்களோட எக்கனாமிக் வந்துட்டு பாதிப்படையுது. ஸோ அவங்களோட எக்கனாமிக் அவங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு தேவையான எக்கனாமிக் வந்துட்டு அந்த ஃப்ளட் டைம்ல வந்து கிடைக்கிறது இல்லை. கேப்ஸ் இன் ஹெல்த் கேர் அண்ட் சோஷியல் ப்ரொடெக்ஷன். அவங்களுக்கு தேவையான அதாவது ப்ராப்பரான ஃபண்ட் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இப்போ ஃப்ளட்னால வந்துட்டு 6,000 வந்து ஃப்ளட் ஃபண்டா வந்துட்டு கொடுத்தாங்க. பட் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு கிடைச்சுதா அப்படின்றது வந்து கிடையாது. ஏன்னா அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு ப்ராப்பரான ஐடென்டிட்டியே கிடையாது. 70% ஆஃப் ஸ்டூடெண்ட் 70% ஆஃப் பீப்புள் வந்துட்டு டிசாஸ்டர்னால வந்துட்டு இந்த ஃப்ளட்னால வந்துட்டு ஃபண்ட் கொடுக்குறாங்க அப்படின்றதே வந்து அன்னவேரா இருக்காங்க. ஸ்டூடெண்ட் லெட் இனிஷியேட்டிவ்ஸ் ஃபார் ரெசைலன்ஸ். ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்துட்டு நிறைய இன்னோவேட்டிவான ஐடியாஸ்லாம் வந்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. எஜுகேஷன் அவங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு ப்ராப்பர் ஒரு பேசிக்கான எஜுகேஷன் வந்து கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்ட்டு எஜுகேஷன் கேம்பெயின்ஸ் அதெல்லாம் வந்து கண்டக்ட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. ரெசைலன்ஸ் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜிஸ் வந்துட்டு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு ப்ராப்பரான ஷெல்டரு, அப்புறமா மொபைல் ஹெல்த் கேர், ஈஸியாக ஆக்சசிபிளான ஹெல்த் கேர் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கணும். To conclude, this study highlights the severe climate change impacts on roadside population, including homeless individuals and nomadic workers. To address these challenges, improvements in shelter, mobile and healthcare, and social protection schemes are essential. Effective climate adaptation to measures can help roadside population maintain health, livelihood, and well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandhya. You have given very good primary-based data collection method and the studies. Nice. I call upon next Kavita and Rishi.
May now call upon Ishwar to present his presentation.
It's going to be the next presenter.
Ishwar. May I now call upon Sayani Paul and Tiwari Mahalakshmi Shivshankar.
She is going to present on mental health, emotional well-being, and productivity of students.
Good morning. Shiny. I am a research student from IIT Chennai. So my today presentation topic is analyzing the impact of climate change on mental health, emotional well-being, and productivity of students. So as we know, climate change is very critical issue these days we are facing, and the Earth planet is also facing. And climate change actually refers the long-term shift of temperature or weather, primarily caused by human activities. But here I argue that climate change also impacted human activities, and that because of that climate change impact, their productivity can be influenced. So So the study seeks to explore the correlation between environmental discomfort and student psychological state, aiming to understand how climate change disrupts their daily lives and academic performances. So these two are my objectives. The first one is understand the relationship between well-being and productivity loss caused by heat stress. And second one is identify influencing factor that contribute to vulnerability due to environmental discomfort. So here I have
we have done the study based on self-structured questionnaire we have used here, and we use convenience sampling technique, and we have collected 211 college students' responses. So these are the descriptive statistics for the study. So mostly we can notice that the students are the majority in number in the age group 18 to 22. Sorry, 21. And most of the students are from urban area. A majority of students are hostelers, and their accommodation type is air conditioned. So based on chi-score analysis, here we have find three factors. Based on those three factors are associated with well-being. Those are household responsibility, fitting level, and concentration impact. Another three factor we have found that is associated with emotional resilience. Those are air ventilation quality, humidity discomfort, and climate change security. And also five factors we have found based on that are associated with thermal comfort. That those are air ventilation impact, climate change security, temperature sensitivity, uh, well-being rating, emotional resilience. So these are the correlation values I have shared. So based on that entire analysis, we draw the conclusion that here we have found that climate change severity has is positively correlated with emotional resilience with a value of 0.380. And this suggests that the individual who have feel more secure regarding their climate change tend to exhibit high level of emotional resilience. And the another one is emotional resilience. We have found that positive correlation with thermal comfort rating with a value of 0.356, and that suggests that those who are with higher emotional resilience tends to rate their thermal comfort more positively. Essentially, emotionally resilient individuals are better at adapting to or managing their thermal environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Next, can I call from Lisa? Present.
Morning, everyone. Myself, Ishwar B., third BA Sociology. I'm the author of the book. I thank everyone for joining in with me to discuss a critical topic that affects us all: the impact of weather, climate change on menstrual cycle, mental health, well-being among adolescent girls. As we gather here today, I want to emphasize that this issue is not a concern for adolescent girls, but for all of us who care about health, well-being, and future of our planet. Slide, please. Climate changes poses significant threats to human health, particularly among vulnerable populations like adolescent girls. Weather patterns and climate variability exacerbate unique challenges during adolescence, affecting not only their physical health, also their mental well-being. Despite the gravity of this issue, there is a critical knowledge gap in understanding the specific impacts of weather patterns and climate vulnerability, variability, and adolescent girls' health. So, my objectives. Our research aims to investigate correlations between weather variables and menstrual irregularities, anxiety, and depression among adolescent girls. We also seek to identify key factors influencing relationship between weather, climate change, and adolescent girls' health. Ultimately, our goal is to inform the development of climate resilient healthcare policies and evidence-based strategies that support the health well-being of adolescent girls. Slide. A methodology, a research paper employed an exploratory research design utilizing a structured Google form questionnaire to collect data from a sample of 100 adolescent girls aged 13 to 19. We employed the thematic analysis to examine the relationships between weather variables, menstrual health, and mental well-being. Next slide. Key countries. The research revealed that a notable proportion of adolescent girls experience changes in menstrual cycle during extreme weather conditions. We also found a strong link between climate stressors and mental health, with perceived climate-related stressors impacting health and well-being. Mental health and weather variables. Menstrual health and weather variables. Our data showed that 11% of our respondents always and 40% sometimes notice changes in menstrual cycle during extreme weather conditions. Furthermore, 14% reported significant changes in menstrual flow, duration, or pain during weather-related events. Slide. Mental well-being and climate stresses. We found that 11% of respondents experienced mood swings or irritability always and 22% often during extreme weather conditions. Changes in sleep patterns were noted by 13% of respondents as significant and by 51% as minor. Implication for policy and practice. Our research highlights the need for comprehensive approaches to address the complex relationship between weather, climate change, and adolescent health. We recommend the development and implementation of climate-resilient healthcare policies and evidence-based strategies that support adolescent girls' health and well-being. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. Recommendations. To further address this critical issue, we recommend conducting longitudinal studies to examine the long-term effects of climate change on adolescent girls' menstrual health and mental well-being. We also advocate for the development and the implementation of climate-resilient healthcare policies and the provision of accessible and affordable menstrual health support and mental health service. Conclusion. In conclusion, our research underscores the urgent need to address the intersection between climate change, menstrual health, and mental well-being of girls. We must work together to develop and implement effective solutions that support the health, well-being, and resilience of adolescent girls in the face of climate change. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishnu. Very good. Next. I am Harshit, an alumnus of East Department. I have come here with a theoretical paper, it's a thematic presentation. Through this presentation, my objective would be to establish the basic economic logic behind the climate crisis that we face today. I'm sure you have been very familiar with headlines like these, which appear very frequently in our news feeds these days. The primary objective, I should say, the primary logic that drives all this is very interconnected to the subject we all study. That is sociology and the social relations of production under which we produce and sustain society. Next slide. This is a quote from the first page of Capital, the book by Karl Marx. The wealth of those societies in which the capitalist mode of production prevails presents itself as an immense accumulation of commodities. Whatever we do today, whatever we want to use today, whatever we want to consume today, all these things are present in the form of commodities. Be it the pen you want to write in, be it the laptop you want to present in, be it the mic I am speaking. Whatever things we use today, these things appear in the form of commodities in today's social productive system. Every commodity, you can split it into two factors. It has a use value and it has an exchange value. To say that it has a value in use, you can use it for something. It has a utility. For example, a pen is used to write, a chair is used to sit, a mic is used to talk, a laptop is used to work. And also, it has an exchange value
meaning that you can take it to the market, sell it for a price, and realize its value. Now, were we always producing commodities throughout human history? The answer would be no. For most of human history, and I would say for most of natural history, even, products of nature did not take the form of commodities, and we have been using direct use values to satisfy our needs and our consumption. But in the last 200 to 300 years of human history, ever since the advent of capitalism, what we see is an increasing commodification of things, through which all use values, whatever we use, whatever objects of utility, objects of use to us, are mediated through a system of exchange value. Please go to the next slide. What I've done here is just I've tried to show you the most basic concept. Every commodity has two factors, as I said: use value and exchange value. And for most of human history, what we have been doing is we had a system of circulation that went from commodity to money to commodity. We had a commodity, we sold it to someone for money, and at the end of that exchange, we obtained another commodity. To simplify it, our means to get what we need was a commodity that we owned, and our ends was a commodity that we wanted to consume. But in the last 2 to 300 years, what we have seen is an increasingly prominent drive towards a different system of circulation. And I would argue that that system of circulation explains the reason that we are destroying the planet's resources today. So these may be familiar headlines to you, may not be. But what this presents to us is an inherent contradiction in the economic system that we live under. You have a surplus of houses and you have millions of homeless people. Next slide, please. Similarly, the products that we use, they are produced in abundance. You have more things to make today. I mean, you produce more things to sell today than you can actually sell. And most of the times, companies end up dumping those products so that they can maintain the levels of price and profitability that we use. The primary contradiction that underlines all these uh, what appear contradictory is this form of circulation that we all live under today. The primary system of production involves taking money, converting it into a commodity, and selling it for money. M, C, and M prime. M prime giving you more money than you actually started with. It's extra money that you did not have in the beginning of your investment. You see, whatever business you want to take today, you look at the stock market, you look at any industry, this is the form of circulation that is being going. A capitalist invests in raw materials. He puts those raw materials to work with labor. He does that with his initial capital. He produces a commodity, and when he sells it, he ends up with a profit in prime, signifying a little more than what he already invested. This expansionary circuit of money, of value in economic system has a big impact in our ecological system. What I'm showing you here is a data that is taken from Thomas Piketty, a French economist's study on inequality in global economy. And what his thesis is that the rate of capital accumulation is greater than the rate of output that we produce in the global economy. Meaning we accumulate, the rate of inequality is increasing, and the rate of accumulation also is greater than the goods we produce to sustain our planet. I'll just because this is a connected point, I just wanted to introduce this person. He's David Harvey, a social geographer and anthropologist from the University of London. His thesis says that the capitalist mode of production requires a minimum 3% growth rate for it to sustain this rate of accumulation. What ends up happening as a consequence is that we overproduce, and we very frequently experience crisis of overproduction and underconsumption. This is again a contradiction of the same system of circulation where your capacity for money to expand theoretically is boundless. I can invest, make a profit, I can use that profit to invest again, I can make a profit again, and that cycle continues. Your MC, M prime cycle can keep continuing, but the command that value it has over resources is finite. We do not live in a world with infinite resources, and hence this contradiction of boundless expansion with a very finite world with a very finite resources drives our economic system inherently in a way that it exploits and it continues to exploit, and it seeks to gain value from whatever little is there. Therefore, I would argue that no, you can skip this. I would argue that the seeds of the environmental crisis and the ecological destruction is inherent within our economic system, and unless we move towards a system uh, that does not prioritize the accumulation of value, exchange value, and instead move to a production of producing direct use values, I think we cannot address the climate change issue sufficiently. Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you, I'll tell you the opinion of yours. Shall I call upon Kirti next? Kirtana is next.
Good morning, everyone. Myself Chanchan. My topic is social, economic, and public health impacts of climate change on vulnerable population. So, climate change refers to the long-term shifts in temperature, weather patterns, and atmosphere conditions. It is primarily driven by the human activities such as burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes. So, our main objective was to identify the social economic condition and to know the livelihood. So, we did a case study and we went to Pavadi village, which is full of vulnerable population. We asked questions through interview, and the date we went on the research was on 20th December 2024. There was four respondents. Three was the old age people and one was young age girl. And overall 90% respondents had the same answers. And the impacts of climate changes are vulnerable populations. Certain groups are more vulnerable than others to the health impacts of climate changes due to the social economic factors like income, education, healthcare access, and housing. Social economic impacts: livelihood disruptions, food insecurity, loss of income, resource scarcity, housing insecurity, and urban vulnerability. There is no proper housing. The peoples are living in the hut. So public health impacts. They are facing a vector-borne diseases such as malaria, dengue, waterborne diseases, malnutrition, sanitary challenges. Most of the young ladies of that villages are facing the sanitary challenges. Maternal and child health risks, increased mortality rate, mental health issues, etc. Here are some questions we asked to them. What is their native and origin, educational background, work, average income per day, and what are the difficulties they are encountering in the access to healthcare facilities, and do they have an access to healthcare, main challenges, and do they have water facilities. Here are the answers they provide. So, their native is Avadi and they are not educated. They are doing the business of flowering and the approximate salary per day is 150 to 250, but average are earning 150 only. And they are facing the main challenges of flooding and storms, and they don't have a proper government hospitals. They need to walk a lot of distance, which make it difficult for them. And there is a lot loss of livelihood and income. They use river water for their living, bathing, eating, etc. So through the research, we observed that there is a dump wastage. As you can see, there is a lot of dump wastage, and there is a lot of food and water insecurity, health crisis, sanitary challenges, hut houses. As they are not having a proper houses, they live in this kind of huts and heat illness. Drought and water scarcity reduces the availability to clean water. Here are some recommendations: strengthening and resilience and adaptations, enhancing social and economic system, ensure health and well-being, reducing climate change drivers. So, finally, conclusions. Reduce carbon footprints can improve healthcare issues, sustainable practices, climate awareness, sustainable development programs. These are the steps we need to follow to protect vulnerable population for further harms. Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti. Shall I call upon Kirtana next?
It's not the disaster, but the lack of preparedness to disaster that kills. This quote emphasizes the importance of planning and mitigation efforts in disaster management and highlighting that the most devastating impacts often come from a lack of readiness when a disaster strikes. Good morning to one of our present here. My name is Keertana from Department of Physics. I'm here to speak about natural disaster risk management and post-disaster rehabilitation. First of all, let me explain about my topic. Disaster management is the primary and secondary plan of people to increase the risk of disasters and to deal with disasters. Disaster management handles the natural calamity and disaster efficiently. And disaster management is very important in recent times. It is tackling the hazards that occur before, during, and after the disaster. It is a similar act as consuming medicine for curing a disease. Disaster can also be in a form of epidemic diseases or industrial failures such as Bhopal gas tragedy or the disaster of Fukushima nuclear power plant, etc. In the event of a disaster, proper preparations are essential for managing the situation. Proper mechanisms helps to minimize the effect. Predicting the probability of some types of disaster can help in decreasing the vulnerability of the people. My methodology is taken from the data of secondary data and analyzed from the researchers and books. Next slide. Next slide. And disaster management mainly includes preparedness, mitigation, and response. These are the main includes in the disaster risk management. Next slide. And statistical report says that India's lack of the ability to cope with disaster is quite high, 80.22% as against US 48.24%. And disaster management in India Authority is a leading government organization. NDMA formulate the policies and guidelines for disaster management to ensure timely and effective response towards the disasters. The government of India also keeps a separate fund known as the Contingency Fund of India to manage disaster in India. Functions of NDMA are administration policy. Okay. By concluding this, a well-trained and vigilant organization can handle any crisis or disaster in a better way. So all organizations should have a disaster management plan, do all regular preventive maintenance checks, be vigilant to possible threats, hold regular mock drills and training programs, a list of do's and don'ts during emergency situations to be displayed at key locations. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirtana. Next, shall I call upon Adaru?
Good morning, everyone. My topic is social psychological factors influencing public environment with climate change and myself, author of the paper, and co-author is S. Vignesh. The session is going to be like introduction, definition of vulnerable communities, key social psychological factors, emotional responses, strategy for enhancing community. In introduction, uh, it is to introduce the importance of climate change engagement, particularly in vulnerable communities. The purpose of the paper is to explore how sociological factors influence public engagement. Definition of vulnerable communities. Generally, vulnerable communities are marginalized peoples who have generally low income, geographically isolated. Examples are indigenous populations, coastal communities, urban neighborhoods. Importance of public engagement. Community reliance, policy influence, awareness and education. In community reliance, enhanced capacity to adapt to climate change. Policy influence, great demand for effective climate policies. Awareness and education. Knowledge transfer and behavioral change. Now, I'll say the key sociological factors: cognitive dissonance, social identity, and normative influence. In cognitive dissonance, tension between beliefs and actions can lead to denial and acceptance. Social identity, group affiliations that shape perceptions and responses to climate change. Normative influence, pressure from peers, community leaders to engage and disengage. Emotional responses, fear and anxiety, hope and efficiency. Trust and credibility. Trust in institutions, higher trust correlates with increased engagement. Lack of trust can lead to skepticism. Community leaders. Local leaders can effectively communicate and mobilize action. My conclusion: this is a paper that is to engage how climate change affect the vulnerable communities, like the marginalized social communities, and case study successfully examples are highlight programs that effectively increase engagement in vulnerable communities. Lessons learned, discuss what worked and what challenges were faced. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adhavan. Very good. Is there any questions from the side of the audience? The paper. Any queries? Clarifications?
Thank you.
May I now welcome Dr. Akhilan sir to provide his reviews related to this conference.
Respected Principal Dr. S. Santosh Babu sir and convener of this international conference. Respected Secretary of this institution, Shri Ashok Kumar Mundra sir. Respected Dr. C. Chandrabadanathan sir, co-convener of this international conference. Respected Dr. I. Janita Mary, organizing secretary of this international conference. And respected Senthil Kumar sir, who is going to be chief guest of this particular program. Here I am very good morning, and I want to give a kind of opinion as a chairperson of this particular session, technical session 4. First, I would like to appreciate our friend, my friend Dr. C. Chidambaram sir, because he has chosen wonderful the topic, because the sustainable solutions for a fragile planet, the blue planet. This is called as a blue planet, the Earth. And here, this fragile condition which is happening in all the planets, out of 8 which is having all the fragile conditions naturally. But the fragile planet which is happening here in the blue planet called the Earth, which is unique when we compare with the other planets. The other planet, which is also getting fragile because of the natural calamities and all that, the happenings which automatically happen. But here, the blue planet, which is getting the fragile because of the demography, a population. So the population is the uniqueness here to get fragile more and more. It changes. So that's what we have received a lot of presenters today to address the solution with a solution. And here the solution we have received from the papers, because I have seen a lot of papers which were collected from both primary sources and even the secondary sources also. And I could find some correlation in the papers, like order, what you have done, how you have written the paper. And I could find that the most of the writers, they were from the UG level, and a few people from the other the alumni of the institution. So this is wonderful thing that what our friend is doing here to make all the students to learn how to write the papers. Most of the time, the paper presenters can be found from the side of the PG level, but at the UG level, you are learning a lot, and you are equipped with this the knowledge. And the solution what we have done, each paper they have come up with a certain solution. But these solutions and recommendations are going to be effective or not, that is important. And that effectiveness is going to be deciding factor of the sustainable solution. So the all are giving up with the solution, but whether that all solutions are going to be the sustainable or not. Okay, you and me can do any research without doing or collecting the data from the field by the observation. But these papers were out of the observation you have done, either in the form of the secondary sources or the primary sources. So that is going to be the effective one, which will decide that your solution is going to be sustainable one or not. Why we had a kind of different set of the 5-year plan, not as like a one plan for 50 years, because of the fragileness. Why fragile? In the sense, the population growth happens. That's why we need a different, the planning once in a 5 years. So likewise, here the population is a matter to decide about the how your planet is going to be. So today's population is deciding this particular outcome in your globe level, but how this is going to be in the future also. So the population is a matter to decide about the futuristic phenomena. So your solution and recommendation has to be sustained with the futuristic basis. So that is going to be essential one to be noted here. So I thank our friend co-chairperson Paramasan sir be with me, and he was also helping me a lot for evaluating. He was also one of the evaluators in my side, and he has given kind of observation and opinion to mark you. So in that basis, our co-convener is going to decide which one is the best paper, and that's what he is going to do at the end. So let me finish with this. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity, Chidambaram sir, because I was not here to deliver any other address earlier, but he has given a wonderful opportunity as a first time. And from the Madras University, I have been here to address you. Thank you so much once again. Thank you.
As a gesture of appreciation, I now invite Dr. Akhilan sir and Paramasivan sir to present the certificates and books to the paper presenters. Purnima, all the paper presenters, please occupy the first 2 rows. Divya Bharati, Parthiban, Kumar, Krishnakant. Excuse me, ma'am. Krishnakant. Audience, kindly cheer the participants. Dr. I. Janita Mary, ma'am. Shalini. Harinishri and Rohit. Priyadarshan and Smriti. Sandhya and Priyanka. Audience, kindly cheer the participants. Ishwar. Sayani Pal and Tiwari Mahalakshmi Shivashankar. Harshit Subramaniam. Chanchal and Kirti. Kirtana. And Adavin. Adavin and Vignesh. My heartfelt thanks also to our chairperson and co-chairperson for sharing their valuable insights and their active participation in this technical session. That brings us to the conclusion of this session. We truly appreciate your cooperation and active engagement throughout the event. Thank you all. And this session is going to be followed by the valedictory session.
Valedictory session of our two-day international conference on sustainable solution for the fragile planet, addressing climate change and environmental crisis. Over the past 2 days, we have engaged in the insightful discussions, explored innovative solutions, and deepened our understanding of climate change and environmental challenges. As we come to the final session, let us take the moment to reflect what we learned and how we can move forward. To officially begin, I invite Mr. S. Alagasan, Assistant Professor, Department of Sociology, DG Vaishnav College, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to extend a warm welcome to each one of you gathered for the valedictory session of the 2 days international conference on sustainable solutions for a fragile planet addressing climate change and environmental crisis. We are honored to have with us our esteemed chief guest, Professor Geo Agency Sindhil Kumar, Registrar, Tamil Nadu Open University, Chennai. I welcome you, sir. Your presence adds great significance to this occasion. I extend my greetings to the faculties and participants from various institutions and departments who have contributed to the success of this conference. I also welcome to our respected head of the department, Dr. C. Chirumannathan, my esteemed colleagues, and last but not the least, my dear students whose enthusiasm and engagement have made this event truly remarkable. Once again, I welcome each one of you to the valedictory session of this 2 days international conference. Thank you for being part of this insightful and enriching experience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome. Now I request our HOD, C. Siddhamanathan, sir, to facilitate our chief guest with memento.
frame में crop out Thank you, sir. Now we come to the most significant moment of this session, the valedictory address. It is an honor to introduce our distinguished speaker, Professor G.R. Senthil Kumar, Registrar of Tamil Nadu Open University, Chennai. With a strong academic foundation in geology, he holds a PhD from Annamalai University and has over 2 decades of experience in teaching and research. He has guided numerous PhD and MPhil scholars, published over 60 research papers and contributed to academic literature through books and course materials. Beyond academia, he is a certified expert in environmental impact assessment and mineral exploration. Serving as a key consultant for sustainable mining and environmental projects, his contributions have earned him prestigious national and international accolades, including the Best Citizen of India Award and recognition in Marquis Who's Who in the World. With a vast experience in research and industrial experience for more than 5 years as a mining geologist and international collaborations, Professor G.R. Senthil Kumar brings invaluable insights into sustainability and environmental challenges. It is a privilege to welcome him to deliver the valedictory address. Sir, we welcome you to share your insight with us.
Respected Principal of DDGD Vaishnav College, Dr. Santosh Babu, Sociology Department Head and Co-Convener of this conference, Dr. Chidambaranathan, Organizing Secretary of this conference, Dr. Janita Mary, Mr. Alageshan, Assistant Professor who delivered the welcome address, distinguished faculty members, dear delegates, beloved students, friends, special invitees, and to all a very good morning. A very good morning. Audience, a very good morning. It's a profound honor and privilege to be here with you as the chief guest for the valedictory function of this remarkable international conference. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to DDG Vaishnav College for this invitation and for organizing this groundbreaking event. Vaishnav College, without a doubt, it possesses all attributes and merits to evolve into a university. This institute is one of the oldest and finest institute in Chennai. It has over 40 independent departments and offering a diverse range of UG and PG degree programs. And it achieved the prestigious A++ accreditation from NAC, which reflects the quality education, good infrastructure, and holistic development. Further, it emphasizes on the innovative research and community engagements aligns with university standards. I appreciate all the delegates and researchers, educationists, industrial experts who have come from various corners of the world to share their knowledge and insights. And I believe that this conference have made a resounding success because of your active participation and contribution. The title of the conference is Sustainable Solution for a Fragile Planet Addressing Climate Change and Environmental Degradation or Environmental Crisis. Climate change and environmental crisis are just an issues for the policymakers or scientists. This is a very hard challenges for us because it affects each and every one of us across the borders and the generation. As a professor of earth sciences, I am very much attracted by the sub-themes of this conference, which are climate change, global warming, ocean acidification, natural disaster management and mitigation measures, environment impact due to anthropogenic activities, environmental degradation and biodiversity loss, sustainable development and conservation of mineral resources, policy framework, important one, policy framework for protecting the Mother Earth. All are very critical areas. They have to discuss elaborately or comprehensively in a manner. So I thank these organizers for fixing such a sub-themes. The world is reshaping due to climatical change. This global warming is not just an issue of rising temperature. It is an issue of affecting the environment, ecology, economics and societies. And this ocean acidification, it damages the entire coastal life. Melting of ice caps, increasing sea level, it is a threat to all coastal regions. Of late, biodiversity loss is another big concern. Forests are not just carbon sinks, they are homes for countless species and vital for planet Earth. So biodiversity preservation and restoration is become prioritized by globally. Geology, the subject, it provides the scientific knowledge for understanding the causes, effects, and mechanism of the natural disasters or impact of the natural disasters such as earthquake, volcanoes, tsunami, landslides, hurricanes, etc. Whereas the sociology address the human and the societal impacts due to natural disasters, identifying the vulnerable population based on the age, gender and income, social status, also about the psychological impact on society due to natural disasters. And the geology study the process of deformation of forest or soil erosion or landscape changes, pollution point, so many things. But sociologists study how these climatic changes affects the social status of the human being, livelihood, all so many things. Okay. So what we have to know that the integration of geology and sociology will provide a comprehensive framework for understanding the global challenges such as climate change, resource scarcity, and environmental degradation or disaster management, whatever. Both the discipline joins and gives a policy framework that will give effective understanding of the techno-feasibility and the social inequality. And we have to bear it on our mind whether the arts, science, or sociology, or engineering, or agriculture, any branches, they have to play significant role to protect the Mother Earth. So it is not a single responsibility of the geology or environmental science or sociology. It is a collective responsibility to protect our Mother Earth. Single branch cannot show any significance. So in this regard, I would like to give you a experience or I want to share my experience happened at Annamalai University. So you know Annamalai University, which is one of the oldest and the largest university in the country. It consists 57 departments and 11 faculties. There, students are allowed to choose their elective papers as they decide. For example, a student belong to agriculture, he can choose the elective papers from agri. Agri students can choose the elective papers from arts. Arts students can select these elective paper from science. So any branch students can take any kind of elective papers among the faculties. So such opportunities are available only at an university. Okay. So the geology branch, the geology subject is a mandatory subject for few branches like civil engineering, structural engineering, mining engineering, and some science courses like physics, chemistry, and marine biology. For civil and structural engineering students, geology is a mandatory paper. They have to gain essential knowledge about the subject geology because all their civil engineering projects takes place only on the earth's surface. If they are not having enough geology or surface or subsurface knowledge, their projects will become failure. Further, I will give one example. You might have aware about that Pisa Tower. Pisa Tower located in Italy, is popularly known for its tiltation, lineation. The tower is lean. Why? There is any error in the architecture or planning or construction? All are correct. Meticulously they have planned. Then why the tower is tilted? The reason is they failed to understand the earth. They failed to understand the geology. They constructed the tower in the loose sedimentary soil. The soil cannot withhold the weight of the tower. That is the reason for the tiltation. So if we are not the civil and the structural students not having the enough knowledge of geology, the bridges will get collapsed. The malls will sink. So for them, the geological knowledge is essential. Just like mining engineering. Mining engineer's ultimate job is excavation of minerals. Without knowing the knowledge of minerals, occurrence of minerals, origin of minerals, uses of minerals, hardness of the mineral, they can't succeed in their job. So for them also it is important. For many science courses, geology is the mother science. So that they have to study geology. So once I handled, so different group of different branches of students are studying geology. Once I handled the combined class for the students belonging to civil engineering, chemistry and physics. In the introductory class, I started to elaborate about the subject geology by covering various aspects such as definition, scope, history, concepts, principles, application, significance, interdisciplinary connections, recent trends and research, placement opportunity and more. Then further I insisted or further I demonstrated about the use of minerals, how we are addicted to minerals, how we are depending minerals for our daily life. By example, I have started, when we wake up in the morning, we go for brushing our tooth. For that, normally we use paste. What is paste? Paste is a bunch of chemicals. It consists of calcite, chloride, silica gel and some other minerals. All are derived from air. After that, we will go for using your washroom. Your washrooms are decorated with tiles, closets and wash basins. All are made up of clay minerals. Without clay minerals, you cannot imagine any porcelain material. Then you are taking bath, the bath with water. Water is a liquid mineral. After bathing, what is required? Makeup is required. So you have to go for makeup. Your makeup is consists of alcohol powder, lipsticks, eyebrows, foundations and many more things. Okay. So all these cosmetic items comes only from minerals. Okay. Then you are going to eat. Your kitchen utensils all are made up of either rock clay or porcelain material or metals. After taking your breakfast, you are moving to your college. with the help of two-wheeler or car or bus or train or any kind of mode of transportation. Okay, all these are automobiles. The automobile industries requires steel, aluminium, copper, pigments, asbestos, many more minerals. Without these minerals, the world is not imagined for automobile production. And I told about the importance of the minerals in present world. Your laptops, your desktop, mobile phones, or any type of gadgets which requires minerals for manufacturing. For example, your mobile consists near about 70 minerals. Your motherboard, battery, display, case cover, whatever may be, all are made up of minerals. So minerals playing significant role, and I said minerals are the important word. Minerals are playing significant role for the country's economic growth and for societal growth, and so many things I said about my subject. Then one of the students suddenly stood up. He belongs to civil engineering department. He asked me, "Sir, my branch also, our branch also playing significant role for country's economical development by constructing malls, apartments, harbors, airport, and many more infrastructures comes only from minerals." Then I asked him, whether you are thinking that this building exists only because of civil engineers and his team? He said, yes sir. Okay, right. Then I asked him, if there is no limestone, clay, dolomite, steel, and some other coal-like minerals, how you will construct the building? Without limestone, it is not possible to manufacture cement. Without clay, it is not possible to manufacture clay. Without steel, aggregates, you can't imagine your concrete or mortar. So, I said, okay, then if war outbreaks, I posed a question in front of the classroom. I asked them, if a war outbreaks between India and Pakistan, who will win the war? Most of the class shouted, India will win the war. Then I asked them, the same question if I ask in front of the Pakistani students, what they will say? They will say, Pakistan will win the war. Actually, who will win the war? This is $1 million question. But any country possesses more number of nuclear bombs, that country will win the war. So, to fabricate a nuclear bomb, you need little amount of cell-sited uranium or thorium or some other important atomic minerals. That is enough. So, all the fighting force comes from geology at the same time. Geology or minerals or earth materials not alone sufficient to win a war. Apart from that, we need many things. Soldiers, war supporting items. So all we need. So why I am insisting this? Oh, not this saving of the earth, going for a fragile planet. It is not only a responsibility of single branch, only sociology, only geology or environmental science like that. It is a collective response. All we have to work together to protect our mother earth. The geology and sociology have good interactions. It has to grow together in the future for planning and mitigation and forming of the new environmental policies and how these techno-feasibility studies and the environmental equality, social equality will be addressed. So all are having responsibilities. I am here really happy. The youngsters, the future India is sitting here. The future India, future son. We have to protect our mother earth. Each and everyone take the responsibilities to for a fragile planet. Okay, with these words, I thank organizers for giving this opportunity. My deepest appreciation once again to the organizing members for inviting me and being a chief guest of this planetary function. Thank you for the honor addressing me today. I wish you all the best, the dear future and the research profession. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking address. Now I request representative of first, second, third year Department of Sociology to receive the participant certificates.
கொஞ்சம் எப்படி வந்துருங்க, கொஞ்சம் தள்ளி வந்துருங்க, லைட் கம்மியாக இருக்கு.
லெஃப்ட் ஃப்ரேம் மட்டும் வருங்க. அது வந்து இவங்க கட் பண்ணுறாங்க, எனக்கு ஃப்ரேம் இவங்க உள்ளே இருக்காங்க. ஃப்ரேம் ஃப்ரேம் எனக்கு கரெக்டாக இருக்குல்ல, அவங்க தான் கரெக்டாக வராங்க.
I request representative from Madras Medical Mission to provide the certificate. MLB College representative, be ready. Representative from Brunana College to carry the certificate. T. Vidyasagar from this Mumbai, kindly collect the certificates. So now we have come to the most awaited moment of presenting the Best Paper Award of 2025. Now I request Editor Mary Ma'am to announce it.
Very good afternoon to all and all. We are very delighted to announce the Best Paper Award for today's national conference. Before announcing the Best Paper Award, maybe, I would like to say one thing. All the paper presenters did well. It doesn't mean that you are not presenting well, not having a Best Paper Award, because we have a very slight differences between the paper presenters, 0.5 like that only. So I congratulate all the paper presenters for did your paper presentations in an excellent manner. After a rigorous evaluation of our esteemed chairperson and the co-chairperson, we are pleased to recognize Krishna Count, MSW for their outstanding research contribution. I congratulate the author for this remarkable achievements, and I congratulate all the other paper presenters too. Thank you.
Congratulations to Krishna from MSW on his well-deserved honor. Now I request our students and other department college students to give feedback about two-day international conference. Department of Sociology, Education College for organizing this wonderful conference on sustainable solution for fragile planet, addressing climate change and environmental crisis. This session was very informative and useful for everyone. Their works made us understand the climate change affects not just the environment but also society and economy. This conference was well organized, engaging, and gave valuable knowledge. Big thanks to all the speakers and organizers for their efforts, and it was a great learning experience. Thank you.
Very good morning to all our present here. My name is Karthik, first BA Sociology. Today's session was very informative and interesting. We came to know about ecological disasters and what is it, what causes it, and how it affects people. It was very knowledgeable and it helped me to gain knowledge about research papers. Thank you.
Good morning from all present here. I am Purnima from first BA Sociology, International College. It has been an incredible experience being part of this conference on sustainable solutions for a fragile planet, addressing climate change and environmental crisis. The discussions on renewable energy conservation, climate justice and innovative technologies have been both thought-provoking and inspiring. I thank to Dr. C. Chidambaranathan sir for engaging us. Let's carry forward this momentum and work together to build a sustainable future. Thank you, Nandi.
Myself, G. Shruti, from 2nd BA Sociology. The technical session, especially the discussion on human impacts of climate change, were thought-provoking. The expert speakers helped us to see the social, economic and cultural dimension of climate change, making it clear that sustainability is not just a scientific concept, but also a social responsibility. Thank you.
Very warm good morning. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my paper presentation. And in this 2 days conference, it's a very learning and very interactive sessions in conference. First day, Sanjay Tiwari sir also shared his valuable experience, and followed by Prabhakaran sir and Akhilan sir, and Sanjay sir are sharing his experience. It's a very learning for me.
Thank you for your valuable feedbacks. Now I request representative from Dialogue College to receive the certificates. As we come to the end of this incredible journey of learning and collaboration, it is important to acknowledge and appreciate everyone who made this conference a success. Now I invite Dr. I. Janita Mary, Organizing Secretary, Assistant Professor, Department of Sociology from D.G. Vaishnav College, to deliver a vote of thanks.
So before starting the concluding remarks, kindly apologies for, because I used to advise my students don't use mobile phones while you are at the podium. So unavoidable situations, I am doing the same mistake. Anyway, kindly bear with me. Anyway, warm good afternoon to one and all present here. as we come to the end of this remarkable conference, I feel an immense sense of pride and gratitude. Over the past sessions, we have witnessed 50 insightful paper presented by 90 dedicated scholars, including 30 of our own students and 20 distinguished presenters from other institutions within Tamil Nadu and other states. Additionally, the participants of 60 attendees from renowned colleges like Queen's Mary's, Madras Medical Missions, Loyola College, MOP Vaishnava College, Stella Mary's, TIS Mumbai, has enriched our discussions and made this event a grand success. Thank you. Reflecting on the past 2 days, I am deeply moved by the wealth of knowledge shared and dynamic discussions that ensued. This conference truly highlighted the collaborative spirit of academic inquiry and underscored the relevance of our themes. Despite the challenges I faced yesterday during my introductory remarks, today I stand before you with a renowned confidence and a happiness uplifted by the positive outcome of our collective efforts. I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made this event possible. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the management and institution for their unwavering support in making this conference a reality. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed chief guests and resource persons for their valuable contributions, and a very special thanks to our valedictory session chief guest, Professor G.R. Senthil Kumar, Registrar, Tamil Nadu Open University, Chennai. During his busy schedule, he spared time with us. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, sir. And a heartfelt thanks goes to all the presenters whose research and perspectives added immense deep depth to our discussions, making this event a truly meaningful academic endeavor. To the participants, your active engagement and curiosity brought energy and vibrancy to the sessions, enriching the overall experience. It is my absolute privilege to take a moment to acknowledge and express my heartfelt gratitude to our incredible working committee for the today international conference. While some might wonder about the need to list all the names, it is crucial to recognize that organized programs of this magnitude, whether at the college level or department level or class level or committee level, it's made possible only with the unwavering support and dedication of our students. They are the backbone of our events, all the events, ensuring every detail is executed with care. Reception team, Lydia, Jennifer, Kavya, on-spot registration, Tushali, Shruti, Anandi and Priyaka, guest hospitality, Subhashri, Ilamati, Kabilan, Adavan, Abhishek, Priyadarshan, student hospitality, Barni, Dharan, Tirukumaran, Somesh, Vignesh, Kavya, Sindana, report writing team, Vasanta Mayurani, Sandhya, Arun Mitran, disciplinary team, Sandhya, Prakatish, Varun Karthik, Devika, Vashini, Karpugili, Ishwar, Ashwin, Subhashini, media team, Madhumita, Ravinathan, certificate writing and scanning team, Lokesh, Sweta, Soumya, Johnson, Sandhya, guest house administrative technique team, Mukilan and Abhishek, Google Form and Decoration team, Menaka, technical support team, Megha, Udayan and Yas. I thank each and everyone for your unwavering support to conduct this conference. Each of you play a very critical role in making this conference a grand success. Your hard work, commitment and teamwork ensured the seamless execution of every aspect of this event. From welcoming the guests to handling the technical operations, your efforts have left a lasting impact. Thank you for your dedication, creativity and resilience. You have not only supported this event but also demonstrated how student involvement can lead to excellence in organizing and execution. I am immensely proud to have such a talented and committed students in our team. This success belongs to all of you. Thank you guys. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Praveen Prabhu, Head of English, Dr. Premalata, Head of FNT, Dr. Prashant, Head of BDA, Dr. Paramasivam, Head of Criminology for their support. I would like to thank Lokesh, Imran, Ramanan, from admin block, and Kumaran Anna for the technical support and his team. Tanigavel and his team from ISKCON department for your support, sir. Thank you, sir. And dear participants, let us take the insight gained here and apply them in our research, teaching and daily lives, fostering an academic culture that prioritizing the collaboration and the sustainability. Finally, I thank each and every one for your presence and participations. Together, we have created an event that will be remembered for its excellence and impact. I wish you all a safe journey back. And very special thanks to Data Center for their technical support. I wish you all a safe journey back and look forward to meeting you again in future academic engagements. Thank you. We forgot one important team, the NC team, Juhi Jahan, Krishna, Aruna Kamilini, Sandhya, Priyadarshan, and Smrit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words of gratitude. As we officially close to this conference, I request everyone to rise for national anthem. With that, we wrap up this remarkable event. A big thanks to all our presenter, delegates and students from various colleges for being a part of this journey towards sustainability. Let's take the knowledge forward and we gain here and make action.